G'day fellow miners and welcome to episode number 3 in my modded survival multiplayer series brought to you from the Hypermine server. Hope you're having a good day. Today this is going to be a huge episode. I think it's going to be very long because I've got so much to cover. But first, the first thing I want to say is I want to send out a big thank you to everyone that sent me well wishes via Twitter after the news I got late last week. I didn't record the HyperCraft episode that day because I just didn't feel up to it. It didn't feel right that I do it. You know, considering the news that I'd received. Check Twitter if you want to know what it's all about. I don't want to talk about it other than to say thank you very much for everyone who sent me supportive messages. It really made things easier. It meant a lot to me to know that there's people out there thinking about it and thinking about me. So that's that. We got to get on with the episode though. I've done so much stuff that I've tried my best, guys, to not go crazy. I've added a couple of extra machines here. I've got I've added another drive to my ME system. And I've painted the ME terminals because you can paint these with IC2 paint rollers or the painters, and I've painted them yellow. I think they look really cool. I'm going to keep it like that. My essence oreberry bushes have been going crazy. I've got tons of stacks of these. This is another thing I've done. I put in a bunch of cave spider spawners just to get some mob essence built up. If you're wondering what this green stuff is in here, it's called slime channel. You make it with slime balls, green or blue slime balls, or the slime blocks that you get from the slime trees. It's really good because it's really hard for mobs to fight against. You can see, ordinarily in water, these spiders would be easily able to fight the current, but you can see they're targeting me and they cannot fight that current. They can't get against it, so that's really good. I think these guys can even fight the conveyors. So that's the little setup for the mob grinder. You can see back here we have our grinders here feeding into an ender chest, which just goes into my network right here. And this is all powered by another small mechanism power system with the hydrogen generators and the electrolytic separators and the aqueous accumulator. Did I mention, was it last episode I mentioned that we have thermal expansion 3 in the pack? Well, we have thermal expansion 3 in the pack, which is really good. I've hooked up an auto spawner here with an enderman in a safari net with 2 health. And what that allows me to do is basically I can one-shot mobs. Interesting, why is my knapsack not working? Now it is. I can basically, I don't have my grinder sword. So I can basically one-shot the mobs. They're 2 punches from death. But if I use a sword, it's definitely a single shot. So loud. Anyway, I'll turn that off. So this is not a bad spot for me to get XP as well. So loud, shut up. But mostly it's... oh, where's that? Where you at, Enderman? Boom! It's mostly for me to get ender pearls. So I use a looting sword. Kill them with a looting sword. Normally I use a looting sword for... Oh, wait, that's right. Normally I use this sword here, which has got looting 4, which is the max I can put on. I don't know whether my tomb is at level 7. So it's got looting 4, damage 3, and soul, which means it generates the little mob chunks from Darkcraft. We might talk about those another time. I don't really want to dwell on them. What else? We have an advanced portal network set up, so we can dial everyone who has an advanced portal. There's a few other people that have them that I haven't put in their addresses, but you just select where you want to go, and then you hit dial, and it opens up a portal to it. So we'll probably use that later when I go and show you a bit more stuff. I've got a rudimentary Formcraft set up here. I just have the what do you call this thing? The Formcraft furnace. I can't remember what it's called. Essence extractor or distillation thingy with some alembics on top of it, and then I just have this Formcraft pipe connected up to all of these water jars. And there's a specific thing I want to do today, and I'll need my wand. I want to set this up with you guys, and this is the this is the arcane infuser for Thorncraft 4. And the reason I want to set it up with you guys is because it is crazy. Where is it? Arcane infuser, infusion altar. So we've got the runic matrix. We need to make these arcane pedestals, and we need some arcane bricks and arcane blocks, and then we set it up in this pattern. So we're going to do that right now. So this is the center of the room, I think, right here. So we need an arcane pedestal, and then we need we need one of the, oh no, that's not right, one of these here, 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 and here. Then we just have regular arcane stone on top, and then we need to, we'll just put a pillar on here for now. Oh, I guess we can't, wait, try this. There we go, because this runic matrix needs to be like up here. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Derp. Oh my goodness. Alright. Finally. And then we take our wand, and I think if I right click like that, boom, there we go. And this thing just starts spinning like crazy, sets itself up, and then I need to lay out a pattern of pedestals for the items that are going to be infused into stuff. So I'm just going to do that, and I could also put down like magic candles and crystal clusters and stuff to give it a greater stability. But this is the arcane infuser. You basically put whatever object you want to infuse in the middle here. So if you had say a thormic sword, you wanted to make the sword of the Zephyr, you put the sword in here, you put the components on these pedestals in a balanced layout, and then you would click it with your wand, and it draws essentia out of these jars, and it consumes the items on the pedestals, and hopefully it creates you whatever you're infusing. There is a chance that it can go wrong. Something will pop off a pedestal and things go wrong, and then you end up with this purple kind of mist in the air, which is basically the equivalent of flux in Thorncraft 4. So that's the arcane infuser. Let's move on. There is a number of these things here are really cool. These are ender lilies, and you basically break them and they give you ender lily seeds. Come on, pick it up, you can do it. There we go. And they give you ender pearls. You can see there I got 2 extra ender pearls. I had 16. So they essentially grow ender pearls, which is really, really useful for early getting ender pearls early on. Okay, what do we want to do next? Next thing actually I think I want to do is I want to set my quarry up. So I'm going to I have a whole bunch of quarrying gear in this bag here. Essentially I want to set up my Silk Touch quarry and my Pump Plus, and then I'm going to power it with the dimensional transceiver, which is from Ender.io, and I'm going to use a trash can and some pipes and stuff to destroy this gear and then send everything else back to this ender chest, and hopefully this little sorting system up here will take out the stone. Oh, actually, now that I think about it, I made that cobble. It needs to be stone. So yeah, that'll filter out the stone, the gravel and the raw clay, because raw clay is really good to have, and the rest of it should go into the system, but I'll have to check that. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to head over to the quarry world. I'm going to mark out our area and set up everything and fire at the quarry and let you guys have a look at it. It's amazing. So I will be right back. So these are the two quarries that I've run. I died in here. There was heaps of lag for some reason, and I died in the bottom of the quarry twice because sort of flight wasn't kind of working for me. So this is a little setup I've got here. This is a destruction thing. This is this trash can, all the dirt, hardened clay, orange hardened clay, red stained clay, or orange stained clay, red stained clay, and grass blocks are going to go into the trash can. They'll be destroyed. Everything else will go into my ender chest and be split up back at the base. Now, the reason I'm using these, interesting. I thought powering them would give me a signal. Okay. Well, I guess I'll just count. So we have our huge square. I better eat. I'm eating beef jerky. Just for fun. Something different. There's no real benefit to it. And I've got a little beef jerky maker. Alright, so I want to use my Quarries Plus with Efficiency 5, Silk Touch and Unbreaking 3. The reason I'm using that is because I want to get particularly redstone. And there we have it seems to have consumed my markers. I guess they're one use. Huh. Let's have a look. Yep, seems it consumes the markers each time you use it. I guess that's the price you pay for setting up such a large quarry, but this is huge, this quarry. So we are going to put down Pump Plus next to the quarry, and the reason we put the Pump Plus there is that it will deal with any liquids that it encounters in the quarry. It will block off liquids and destroy, block off liquids flowing in from the sides and destroy liquids that are actually in the quarry area. It doesn't require power, so that's pretty cool. Now we're going to put down our dimensional I/O, and we are going to set it to quarry, and we should see this sucker firing up. You can see it's already destroying stuff. The other thing with the Quarries Plus quarries is that what they destroy in the frame, they actually keep. So you see we're getting seeds, we're getting flowers, we're getting crystal, all the stuff that's in this area, and you see how quick this is clearing the area. It's almost completely cleared, and this is a big area. Like, this is huge. This is 200. This is what do we got? 128 by 128 area, and it's now building the frame. You can see, whew, it's really, really fast. And once the frame is complete, you'll see the quarry running. So I might pause this till the frame's complete, and we'll come back when the quarry's running. Alright, so the frame is built, and here we go. The head is... Look at that! It is so fast. Yeah, it is crazy. I can barely keep up with it running. So you can see how quick this is. And the reason why I decided to go with such a large quarry. We're just going to check to make sure. Yeah, this is ditching all of the stuff we don't want, the dirt and so on. And it's sending everything else up, I would guess. Yep, there we go. Crystal went up. There we go. That's our quarry set up and running, and you can see how insane Quarries Plus is. Alright, so that's the quarry. I love it. It's so crazy. Alright, I'm going to go back to base, and then we're going to continue on with our little tour. Whew. Alright guys, so after a lot of messing around with stuff, creating new bits and pieces and swapping some stuff around, after I set up the quarry I needed to play around with my power system. And are we going to be allowed to teleport? Thank you. I had to remove, I had this stuff here, it's called Ender.io conduit, energy conduit. I had to remove it and replace it with the universal cable, and then I had to remove, I had an Ender.io capacitor bank up there. I had to remove that and replace it with thermal expansion. Oh, crap. The thermal expansion energy cube. It's a redstone energy cube, so it's the second highest tier of energy cube. And then I had to place my my dimensional transceiver, this thing here, to like directly adjacent to the redstone energy cell. Now my quarry is still running full speed, because before it like slowed to a halt, like a complete halt. It just stopped. So yeah, it looks like some of the, because this is, a lot of these mods are like basically in beta for 1.6.4, so there's regular updates for them, and we've been trying to keep up with the updates. And Ender.io changed a few things, or the mod author for Ender.io changed a few things, and they actually made the mod less efficient. And I think it may be a mistake. It may just want, when it's interacting with other mods, that it's an issue. But I had to change a few things. I had to put in extra what's going on? Extra fuel production for my fusion reactor. That's what these things are. These things here produce deuterium, which you pump into the reactor, and we can see that the reactor's at about just over 2,000 deuterium. It sits at about that and consumes it to create the plasma, to boil the water that's inside the chambers in here. But anyway, enough of that. We are going to work on the new project, and what I want to do is, oh, by the way, I didn't really talk much about this area. This is the reactor room, using a lot of the blocks from a mod called Chisel. Really nice mod. You can see it's got this really sort of industrial kind of futuristic look to it, and I really like it. It goes well with the reactor. I like these striped like warning blocks. Look really cool, even though I just like run around on top of this thing. But yeah, what I want to do today is I want to set up an area where I can set up a bunch of farms. And alright, settle down, pick it up. We're going to have to move across, how many blocks? We're going to have to move across 4 blocks, because I want this to be centered. So let's go across 4 blocks. 2, 3, 4. Ooh, 4. Let's make sure this is the center. Yep. Nope. This is the center, right here. Okay, and I'm going to go up, let's say, maybe 10, 15 blocks. I'll just go up until I feel like stopping, I guess. Okay, and then I'm going to clear out a little area here. And we're going to set up the next project, which is going to be a really interesting one. Create a little bit of room here for some stuff, and I want to make a kind of large dome area underground. In order to accomplish that, I'm going to use the modular force field system. Interesting, just a block. Because there's two versions of modular force fields now. There's the original one, which has been updated, but we have the completely reworked version, which is part of the universal electricity group of mods. And I'm going to pop down a chest here that has all the bits and pieces in it. I'm going to go through, I only want some of these. I'm going to go through and I'm going to show you how these things work. And these things here are coercion derivers, and they are basically, well, essentially they're, and I'm going to need to go and get I'm going to need to go and get some cable. And I think I'll use universal cable. So we'll grab that. We will grab a energy cube. This one will do. So what was I saying before I rudely interrupted myself? Can't really remember. It's a completely reworked mod, and it does a lot of stuff that the old MFFS system didn't do. So let's pop down our redstone cell. We'll set bottom to output, and then we will put our dimensional transceiver on top. Set that to quarry, and we will say that output mode should always be active, input mode never active. And we'll make the top an input. Now we'll turn these on. You can see that is starting to spin, and you can see in the interface it's saying it's producing 800 kilojoules of power. So what this does is it takes, well, pretty much any form of power that's compatible with it, and it turns it into force, or, well, not really force energy, but it turns it into energy that can be used by this system. Virtually it's Fortron. We can see here that this is linked to 6 devices. So these 6 here, you can see there's a frequency set here. I might actually change this to let's make it 100. That's what I've been using most of the time. 100, 100, 100, and 100. And we'll change. You can see this has changed to link devices 1. That counts itself. If we change that to 100, you'll see it's back to 6. And now we can turn this on. You can see it starts to take power from the derivers and fill its own internal storage. So this is like the battery, or this is virtually the whole hub for the system. Without this, you couldn't transmit power. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a force field projector, and we are going to place that right there. Now you might be wondering why we're using a force field projector. Now you can see that this is starting to fill with energy. But yeah, the force field projector we're going to use to create a dome shape. It's going to be 22 blocks in radius. We're going to use the sphere mode. So if we pop that in there, that makes the force field projector project a sphere. We're going to put the dome module in, which will mean that it'll only project a dome. We're going to make the... it doesn't matter where you put this for the dome. If you just put it in, it'll make it a 22 diameter. So the whole dome will be 22 diameter all the way around. We want to put in an invert module. And what an invert module does is, instead of creating a shell, it fills the entire area with force field blocks. And then lastly, we will put in... second lastly, we will put in the disintegration module and the collection module. And you can see that this is going to use 1.34 megajoules per tick. This fellow's create... was it megajoules? Yeah, this is capable of creating 250 kilojoules. So we could probably do with upgrading this, because I think these guys are transmitting 6 MJ each, so they're transmitting plenty. It's just that this is a bit slow, so we need to increase that. We need to increase that by putting speed upgrades in. So what I might do is I might go and make some speed upgrades, and I will come back to you guys. Alright, so I've added the speed upgrades. If you put in 28 speed upgrades, you can see that the transmission rate is now 1.65, and this uses 1.64. So there's enough in here to generate enough power to keep this thing running. And one other thing I forgot, actually I could probably just use this chest here, is we will place a chest. Oop, did I just throw my force belt? No, I didn't. Stick it underneath. Now this will eject any items that it disintegrates into this chest. So what we're going to do now is we're going to turn it on. Just make sure everything is right in there. So it's dome. Yeah, we'll turn it on, and you can see it's starting to consume energy. You can see there's like red lines coming out of it, and if we look in our chest, we can see there is cobblestone appearing. You can hear a kind of a boom, boom sound. So it's a fairly slow process. How are we going on power? Doesn't seem to be doing anything to that or that, which is good. So we've got a bit of dirt, some gravel. It's a pretty slow process, but it's really cool for clearing out like specific areas. And oh, I'm a bit worried that this is going to destroy this. So I might move this and put that here. Right. Oh, is that topping up again? I need to change that to an input. There we go. Alright, so this thing is chugging along, doing its thing slowly but surely. And I am going to... Oh, I can't get out of here now. I am going to leave that go and come back to it a bit later. But now we're going to have a look at another little project that I want to... well, actually, I think that might be it. The next thing I want to do is set up farms, I think, which is what I'm building this area for. So that might be maybe another episode. I might actually take a bit of a break and let this thing do its thing. And oh, see, we got snow. Oh, that's interesting. I might go out and have a look. because it looked like that is tearing into the outside. Put my force belt on my hotbar. Where did I take it up to, and where is it coming out of the mountain? Here we go. Is this it? That might be it. Whoa! Spider just tried to suicide on me. It might be where it might be cutting out of the mountain right there. That's alright. If that's the case, that won't matter, because the next part of the plan can handle this. So I'm going to take a bit of a break, let the force field do its thing, and then I'll come back when it's a bit more advanced. So see you then. Alright, so the modular force field system has cleared out this area, this dome area. You can see it was a little uneven, so I had to touch it up a little bit. I'm playing around with some designs for the floor. I'm not sure about this though. I think I might make it grass, but then each farm I'll put a border around, perhaps of this brick or something else. But yeah, I think this is a bit too busy. So the next step, I have been making loads and loads of glass, and then I've been turning it into this steel frame glass. And what I can do with this is I've taken out the upgrades. I had to put in some speed modules to get this thing to go a bit faster. I've taken out the invert module and the dome module. I'll actually put the dome module back. And I've taken out the disintegrate, and I'm going to put in this field stabilizer. And then I'm going to actually increase the size of the dome by 1. And it's going to take the glass out of the chest next to it, and it's going to place the glass in a dome shape, as we can see here. Alright, so the dome is all but done. I was playing around with a little bit of something different. I got about halfway through the glass, and I noticed that the pattern looked kind of interesting. It was fairly random, but it looked kind of interesting. I thought I'd try a mix of glass and this shiny, it's called futuristic armor plating block with shiny metal bits. It's from the chisel mod, but I don't like it. So I've been slowly converting all of this to glass, apart from where it is already solid stone, which I'm making the shiny metal crap with my wand of equal trade, thusly. And I've been slowly converting these blocks to glass using the wand as well. But that's really all we've got time for today. Probably should have ended this episode 27 minutes ago, because it's nearly 50 minutes. But I want to thank you all for watching, if you stuck with me for this long, and keep on digging.